Okay, my family community, so this is part 2 of All About Raised Beds. Now this is the introduction to the Vegega raised beds. This is the one that I decided to go ahead and work with this company. Now I will tell you in the description box below, I will give you the link to this company. Also, because I am doing this and I wanted to make it where you guys, it can be more helpful to you as well, you will have a discount code which I will give you, and that allows you to get 10% off of that code by me. So I'm hoping that helps you, because I know there's a lot of you just like me who are looking more into raised beds. Our grounds may not be as vital as we would like them to be, and it would cost a lot to replenish our soils. So the raised beds seem to work, and for me it's working greatly. So I hope that you find this video helpful, and if you do decide to do this, I'm hoping that the code helps you as well. So let's get started, because this is part 2 and we've got so much more to do this week. Okay, y'all, so let's go ahead and put this raised bed together. Now, I will tell you, when I saw this and it was introduced to me, both of these raised beds, it's a twin pack of 17 inches. So it's 17 inches high. It's a dual pack, and when I seen it, it was $149. Now, that was on sale as well. Now, here's what I will tell you. If at any point, I have found this to happen, and I stopped supporting this company when they did that. If at any point I find a company, when I turn around and do an evaluation with them, and I find later that they charge you guys more than what I seen it for, then I tend to back off, because I don't believe that to be nice. So we'll see. This one here was a set of two 17-inch round raised beds. This is for somebody who wants small raised beds, doesn't want a big garden. This would be perfect. But let's see how easy it is to put together. As you've seen, when I put my big 8-footers together, one person can do that. So let's see how these go, and we're going to take it from the box to the build. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to work off the back of my pickup truck, one, because, well, it's tall enough for me, y'all. So, and I don't feel like stooping completely on the ground. Now, it's rather heavy, I will tell you that. Now, these pieces, it doesn't look to be really complicated. It does come with a guidebook to start your gardening. It has assembly instructions, 9-in-1, 6-4-2, 10-in-1 round, special shapes, extension kit, and bracing rods. So, yes, so it gives you instructions on how to do this. Let's see here. You get your nuts, bolts, and you get your liners, which is the top. That's what this is. This is the which my raised beds don't have this rubber-based coating on the top of it. It's a seal type thing that will protect your fingers from getting cut. So, looks like 5 simples. Let's see. Hang on a second here. These are all different sizes. So, here's the round one. We have the 17. So it's a 2 foot by 2 foot when it is finished. So, I mean, this is actually a 24-inch round raised bed that's 17 inches high. So, I mean, we'll see what this looks like when it's done. And we're going to pull these out. This is heavy. These do come with 2 sets. So, and then here's the tool, nuts, and bolts. So supposedly each one comes with 4 pieces. There's one. 2. 3. So yes, there's 8 pieces altogether. Divided up, you got 2 beds per set. I'm going to set one set aside while we work on one. Pick up my trash around here, y'all. I don't like to do that. Alright, so we're going to open this up and figure out how to do this. Now, each one, it says here, comes with a protective coating that we want to pull off. Yep, I see it. So you want to pull that protective coating off of each piece, evidently. Yep. It's a tight based plastic. Don't know if you can see this. See that on there? It says to pull this off. Now, I suppose you could keep it on if you wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and do like it says and remove it. And it's stuck pretty good. Alright, let me remove all this plastic coating because this is going to take a little bit, it looks like, because it's attached to this pretty good. Okay, y'all, so we took the protective coating off of this. Now, it does say to line these up with the holes. Just like so. Now, I will tell you the ends of mine, some of the corners on mine were bent, so I'm unbending them so that they will line up perfectly evenly with the others. I'm going to take the nuts and the bolts that this came with and the tool. So we take basically, that was a friendly neighbor, I reckon. I don't know who that is. Sorry about that, y'all. And I guess I need to get a pair of scissors because this is a pretty sturdy bag. Packaging is, well, packaging seems to be pretty strong here. But, like I said, now I do have some slight... Hang on, y'all. I'll be right back. Shall we proceed? Sometimes we get neighbors, y'all, that just rather lay on their horn than to get up and knock on the door. So... Alright, so what they say here is we get the screw, the nut, and the, I do know this washer, y'all. What we do is we take the screw base in the outside, pop that through, just like we did on my other one. You want to get it lined up. take the washer over that, take this nut and put it over. And then all we're going to do is hold this together and tighten it up. Now from what I understand is these don't have as many lines or bolts as my old ones or my raised beds. They kind of space this out farther, so there's not as many. And all of this supposedly is coated. In other words, to last for many, many years. So I'm just going to, this does not seem very hard at all. One person absolutely can do this. I'm just going through, setting this through, and then tightening it up as I go along. I'm going to go ahead and actually pre-do everything. That way all I have to do is come back in and tighten it up. Line up my bolt hole or my holes. Yeah, see, this one's bent too, so I'm just going to have to pull it out just a little bit. There we go. Line this up. It doesn't bend super easy, just to let you know, but it will bend to shape the way you need it to shape. And then one more. So it's actually 4 per panel set. And we've got 4 panels, so there would be 4 sections basically that we're going to be doing this. So it's just that simple, you know. So I just come back here now and tighten all these up. This is very simple for one person to handle. Now this is small, so if this is what you're into, some small ones, and this was what was offered to me, then yeah, I mean, this would be super easy for somebody to do this on their own. Once I get this completed, I will show you the finished product and show you exactly how big this actually is, and see if this is something that you think you can handle for maybe a small garden, whether it be small vegetables, herb beds, flowers, whatever you choose. So let's get this put together and let's see how big this actually is. I'm going to tell you, this will not take me long at all. I will try to, from this point, I will tell you it is 4:58. So at this point, let me go ahead and put this together and I will tell you how long it took me to put this together. Alright, took me exactly 7 minutes to put this together. So all together, even with the first round, we're looking at 10 minutes so far. Now all that's left to do is take the rubber base topping to protect us from these sharp edges and put these strips on. Okay, so it looks like, I don't know, yeah. So I'm going to have to cut this once it's done. There should be enough for both of these, so it's got a, let's see. Alright, so this pops in here somehow, all the way around this. And this one is not easy to place on here. I will tell you that. It's, yeah, there we go. So I had to get it started elsewhere instead of on that edge line. And then come back to this edge line to pop these right where these seams are, where the screws. So yeah, that one starts somewhere else where it's not so by the seams. And just pop this all the way down around this bed line. Now I'm going to go have to get a pair of scissors. It looks like this. This will have to be cut. And then again, It does go over those seams. It's just a little bit more pressure to add to it, but not impossible. Now this came as a kit for both, supposedly, so it's supposed to fit for both of these. Again, at this edge here, it's not that easy, but it's not impossible. You just got to work with it, y'all. Right. Just got to angle this just right for it to snap on here. All right, let me go ahead and get this done. I got to go get a pair of scissors, and we'll be back. Okay, so we got that coating on the top. Now, I will say this is nice. Yes, it is. Sometimes it can be challenging putting it on where the seams are, although you can get this on. It took me just a few minutes to do this. And I did measure out to see if we have enough for the second, and we have plenty enough plus some extra. So this is enough for both of these beds. And that's it, y'all. This bed is now finished. Now I'm going to set this on the ground and kind of give you an idea of how big this really is. I do believe that this is a nice size bed. This is great for a small garden, great for herbs, and even flower beds. So this is absolutely a 2 foot by 2 foot. It is actually a beautiful setting, y'all. It did not take long at all. This goes together super simple. So I'm happy with it. My own raised beds that I bought from Amazon did not come with this plastic covering, so this is nice to keep from sharp edges from cutting you. It doesn't have support braces, and I guess that's because this one is smaller. And it wouldn't take as much soil, although I do the back to Eden where I put the wood at the bottom and soil at the top anyways. So this is a pretty nice raised bed for 17 inches. It's a good size height. And I could absolutely see my tea tree in this easily. And I can actually see another herb bed, honestly. I have two decisions I have to make on what I'm going to do with these. And we will put in the video what we're doing now, putting it together. And then we're going to put together on what we did with them. So let's go from there. This right here, y'all, I think is a good spot for the tea tree. So the information that comes with Vegega's raised bed, the boxes, it shows that it's rust resistant, can last up to 20 years. Now, I can't verify that because I just started. So it says it's got high wear resistance, great for kids and seniors, which I done proved. That was so simple to put together, and it's lightweight to pick up. Now I will say if it's probably bigger, they do offer several varieties of raised beds, all different prices. You know I'm going to be putting the link below in the description, but the bigger they are, you're going to need more people to help you move it. These were super simple. They say they use eco-friendly material, last up to 20 plus years, and easy to assemble, strong heat dissipation. So honestly, we'll see how this works. So far, I actually like it. They do offer different colors on top of this, where the ones I have are just one standard galvanized coloring beds. This one, I got to choose between a black color or this cream. I chose the cream because honestly, as bad as our heat is, I didn't need to make it any hotter. So my tea tree needs to be in a shade. So I chose this spot for the tea tree for the shade because it's a good spot where it gets occasional sun, but mostly shaded. So I'm trying to save that tree. I really don't want to have to buy a new one. It got killed in the summer or winter last year, just about, I thought. Another good thing about having this raised bed for that is I can create a piece over the top of it and protect it from the winter this year. I can create a plastic coating or row covers over the top of it and maybe spare it with a much easier place to contain it. So this was perfect for the tea tree. Now I thought about putting my lemon tree in the other one, but honestly I'm going to put that up front. It needs to be in the ground itself. So what I'm looking at is I am getting ready to plant some more herb seeds. I think that bed would be perfect because, like I told y'all, I am going above and beyond with herbs. I found that in the 20 footers, the basil, marjoram, oregano, thyme, all of these grow really well in those beds. So I'm going to save that as the herb gardens and probably do that with this one. So we'll see. I may change my mind, but right now I'm looking at another herb bed because I can't get enough herbs. Honestly, I need a bed strictly for an entire run of basil, and then there's dill and so much more that I go through with Mediterranean cooking. You know this. So if I can produce enough where I can just dry my own, I don't have to worry about going to the grocery store ever again. And I will go to the Mennonites, but half the time they don't have what I need. And I really don't feel like going online anymore because they're getting too expensive. So if I can grow my own, let's do this. So I just might make that one into an herb bed. And I am going to put my lemon tree up front where I had flowers planted that just did not make it. So they were given to me on Mother's Day. I tried to keep them alive. They were a Walmart deal and naturally it didn't work. So I'm going to put my lemon tree in there instead. So let me go figure out where we're going to put this other bed and then we're going to fill them. I just figured out what I'm going to put in that raised bed, y'all. Because I have a big enough space with two 20-foot greenhouses for herbs, I'm putting my anise hyssop in there. That's the only thing I'll be able to save them for sure. So let's go show you where I put it. Okay, so this is the first raised bed right here, and I just put it right here beside it. This right here is the anise hyssop, and it needs a bed all by itself. That bag right there is junk. I have tried these. Now some people can use them to grow bags, but when you're in temperatures like I am, that's the worst thing we could ever have. They dry out so fast. They are worse than these raised beds. So I need to get my anise hyssop out of there. They died last year and I had to plant some more. So we're going to save this crop because these are actually, they grow back every year, perennials. So they come back every year, y'all. So we're going to put that in this raised bed. So let's get these filled. So all of these sticks and stuff fell in my yard. I have a good way of cleaning them up. It's just putting them at the bottom of this bed in here. And that would create, like I said, this creates my back to Eden basically. I start a wood of compost at the bottom per se. So it also helps the roots be able to work better for somehow this works, y'all. And so we're going to fill this up once I get, now I'm not going to fill it up all the way. I am going to go a certain point to this and then I'm going to stop and then fill it with, my goal is I've got 100 pounds of soil that we're going to be adding to this. So let me go ahead and break this up, get this done, and then we'll be back to fill this up with soil and plant our tea tree because we got to dig that back up to plant in here. Alright, so that filled up our, well, this filled up this quite nicely at the bottom of this raised bed. I've got like maybe the first 2 rings at the bottom full of it, and it cleaned out my yard, so I have nice organic matter. Now let's fill this up with soil. And I will say this is part 2 of this video. It is 2 parts, y'all. I had to break it down. Okay, so we are using from my co-op a slow release fertilizer potting soil. It's a premium potting soil. It's got water capabilities of holding water. It's got organic peat in it and everything. So this soil runs me, Lord have mercy, about $11, $12 a bag. Now I'm on my second bag here, and we're going to see, each bag is 50 pounds. We're going to see how much this unit here will hold, and it'll give you a general idea how much soil it takes to fill one of these. Remember, I do have organic matter from my yard in here as well. So, which I'm glad for that, because from what I'm seeing, y'all, I'm going to have to go to my co-op and buy some more soil. So let me see if I can get on the other side so I'm not in your way here. We'll go ahead and add this one too. I have a feeling I'm going to be going back and before I could fill them up the other raised bed. So, yeah, I was correct. Y'all, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to take 150 pounds of soil to fill up the 17-inch raised bed. With this being my second bag, this is 100 pounds already. So, yep. And that last bag is going to finish this off. So I'm going to go ahead and get it. And then I'm going to have to go back and buy 100 pounds of this tomorrow for the anise hyssop. So it's going to be worth it though, because once I do this, I won't have to do this for quite some time. So let me go ahead and get the last bag and we'll be back. Just as I suspected, y'all. This thing easily holds 150 pounds of soil. And that's with me putting debris at the bottom of it, just so you know that. Without that, you're probably looking at about 200 pounds. So at least 4 50-pound bags are, if you have matter, organic matter, if you do it back to Eden, then at least 3 50-pound bags, and that's what this one is. So yeah, I'll have to go back and finish the anise hyssop tomorrow. But that's all right. We got just enough to do what we need to do. So now we're going to go dig up our tea tree and get that bad boy planted into its new home. And I bet it will love this. Now I took you with me to bring you to this tea tree. This poor thing, y'all, I thought was a history. I thought it was seriously gone. But it managed to come back with leaves. So we're going to dig this up very carefully. Now I could put my cactus in there if I really wanted to as well. It's endless on the decisions what you can put inside that raised bed. But I'm making an executive decision to save my tea tree. I would love to be able to grow my own tea leaves and not have to buy it, because this thing produces 3 types of tea leaves. White tea leaves, green tea leaves, and it produces the black tea leaves. So I'm going to slowly come in here and gently pull its roots without breaking anything as much as I possibly can. I'm going down as far as I can to grab this baby. Got it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So let's go get this planted. Look at that roots. It grew back beautifully. So let's get this bad boy planted and save it. Okay, so it has new shoots coming up here too, or new leaves. So I'm going to make right in the center of this bed, because this bed is strictly for this plant. I need it to grow. It's big. It's supposed to be a bush. So we are going to let it do that. We're going to fill in any air pockets this has with the soil. And maybe it seems like a waste of taking this entire bed just for a tea tree, but trust me, y'all, when this thing flourishes out, and I have hopes and prayers that it can now, it will be taking up this whole entire bed. So now, mwah, thank you. I have to say I'm blessed, y'all. So now let's get this watered. And now the water I'm going to use is from our barrel, and let me show you how we work that. All right, y'all, I had shown you this by my greenhouse. This thing is filled with rainwater. What I didn't show you is how do I use it. So my husband built at the bottom of this thing a nozzle. So it is low to the ground, so I have to use one of my canning jars to catch my water. So I come down here, turn my faucet on, turn it off, fill up my container here, and just go back and forth until I have enough water that I need to water that plant. Go ahead and move this closer here, so it makes it easier for me to fill. I have so much water that I would love to be able to hook a hose to this, but it would take pumps and all that. We just don't have the money for it, so we just work it like it is. Something people may say I work a little too hard for, but it's worth it, y'all. One more ought to do it. And this is actually the dark color you're seeing in this jar. This is actually tree matter when it came through the screen that we have up here. So now let's go water this plant. All right, now we're just going to take this and water this, soak it down really, really good. I honestly couldn't ask for anything better for this tea tree. I could not be able to pick its leaves yet. It is over a year old, and I should be by now being able to pick the leaves, but unfortunately, because it almost died in the winter, I'm not able to do that, so I gotta wait. Now I have a better chance of trying to keep this baby alive, covering it up this winter, and keeping it protected by using this raised bed. So I honestly want to thank Vegega for allowing me to make this presentation, but I also pray that you all benefit from this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish this out. I am actually going to soak this because my roots were rather dry and it needs to be wet. So we need to have this soaked all the way through. It needs all the water it can get, so I don't mind drowning it. It's got all this matter to go down here at the bottom anyways. So, and that's it, y'all. That would conclude the video on this raised bed from Vegega. I do have another one I'm going to do, but unfortunately I have to go get more soil. So we're going to stop right here. Alright, my family community, this will end part 2 of our raised bed video. I will say, now I'm hoping I'm doing the justice right on the name of this company, whether it's Vegega, however it's called, one of the two. If I got it wrong, please forgive me. I will say this about it so far. Super easy to put together, even with the fact that it has a band around it. My beds do not have that, so this will definitely protect you from any sharp cuts from metal. 2, it does have a long 20 years or so, y'all. It's a pretty long time before it's supposedly supposed to deteriorate. Can I vouch for that right now? No, I just put it together. So let's just hope that this here will last as long as it says. Sorry, I heard that crack. Y'all, when the wind blows and the pine trees crack, I run. Because some of them could be what they call our widow makers. These branches are so big and so thick, I don't want to be up under them when they fall. I've got one right now that my husband has to, that one right back there, he's got to cut it. I heard a crack. That means one is fixing to drop, so I don't want to be in its way. But that's the pine that we used in the bottom of this, so it helps clean up my yard. I will say I am actually loving this. Now, yes, these beds are small. I could buy others from them, and they do seem, for raised beds, y'all, we know that this is not cheap, but they are reasonably priced. I think this is more reasonable than what I found on Amazon for what they do. So, and it does look to be really good quality. It was so easy to put together for me by myself. It was a snap and a breeze. Honestly, within 25 minutes I had 2 beds filled, or not filled, but put together and ready. They are lightweight. Now again, if you get one of the bigger ones, you'll need 2 people, because not due to the weight, but due to the bulkiness of being able to move it. But other than that, I love this bed. I cannot wait to get my anise hyssop in it and in that other one and get those started and save that crop too. I'm really hoping the progress on this will start improving. A tea tree needs shade, and it needs just a little bit of sunlight. It does not take a lot. So I'm hoping now that this baby can survive, and it's in a whole lot better condition, soil, and in a place all by itself. So that will conclude this, y'all. I hope these part 1 and part 2 videos of raised beds were informative, helpful, and I hope you like the fact that we did what we did on our upgrades. I look forward to seeing what happens with the peppers, and we will be reporting that back to you. So until next time, much love from Partin's Heritage Homestead. We got some cooking to do, y'all, so we're going to be meeting in the kitchen very soon.